Maybe you've heard it said that men go to seminary and their fire for the Lord seems to be extinguished. Sometimes seminary is called cemetery, and there's a failure to commune with God. There's this rigor in academic study, and we can kind of lose ourselves in focusing on a lot of particulars and forgetting the underlying communion with Christ that needs to be evident on a day-to-day basis. Men can slip into accomplishing the tasks without dealing with their own heart along the way, and so a coldness can set in. We could also talk about the pressures that are on seminary students, and we're squeezed in every way, family-wise, financially, academically. There's so much pressure, and under pressure, we begin to worry, to be afraid. We start feeling a heaviness. We forget our privileges, as in Owen's language. And because we forget our privileges, we lose a sense of the love of God and all the privileges given to us in Christ, and that will deflate preaching. There's also something about seminary that you're thinking about a lot of new things maybe you haven't thought about before, and it's making you read the sermon, read a particular text through the grid of all your new categories. So when you come to preach, you're thinking of yourself and getting all the categories right, but preaching is necessarily an act of self-forgetfulness. This is not about me. This is about the Lord. I'm preaching in His presence. I need to communicate His truth, and I need to see these people in front of me and do good to them. And I'm not going to encourage them, and I'm going to build them up if I'm flat, disconnected, all in my head, worried if I, establish the proper redemptive historical context, if I said that certain word a right way, or if I go in wanting to show off my learning. Students can easily do that and not do it on purpose. They're so excited about this new Greek word they've seen and what it means here, and they're thrilled about it and they want their people to see it, but then they use it as an occasion in preaching to show off something about this word and its nuances, and that really becomes lost on people. They're wondering, so what? You got to give them the so what, and in order to know how to profit from what they're hearing. And so seminary students easily lose sight of those things. And they need to be reminded while we're studying deep things of God, we have to bring it back to the everyday living. Again, full circle with Ryle. He wrote a book called Practical Religion. Christianity is an eminently practical religion. And if our seminary training doesn't teach us how to do practical Christianity, then we're actually damaging the students. But the goal here is to show them how communion with the Lord, the triune God, is eminently practical, and then to show, okay, this leads to this conclusion, this action, this way to communicate the gospel, this way to apply things to your people.